everyone. Hi, everyone. Welcome to today's session. Today we have meditation and some information about the sun and the moon. Could we quickly go through a sound test to see if our microphones are working? Could you repeat that? Sorry,
Or maybe like this?
Yeah, there you go. Sounds good.
Okay.
Do you want to start right now? Or should we wait for a couple more minutes?
However you want. I am ready also now.
Okay, let's wait for 5 more minutes and then we'll start.
Okay.
Thank you.
So I guess we can start, right?
Yeah, let's do it. Can everyone hear? We have a couple messages that people cannot hear you. So, Carol, can you hear still? Okay. Let's start.
Yeah, okay, let's start. So, my name is Ciprian Pascu, and I'm a Sahaja Yoga practitioner. We will have today a workshop with meditation, and the theme will be the sun and the moon. We will go through some correlations between yoga, between the human psyche and sun and moon, of which I don't know, probably you are already aware, but just to make sure, we'll go through these, and we'll have cleansing technique, Sahaja Yoga cleansing technique, and for that we will need a candle. So please make sure you have a candle near you. That will be the practical part. I recommend it to be a candle with a plate, so that you don't get dirty with a wax. And just please have it near you, and we will lit it at the right time. So I would suggest we start with a short meditation, and then we we continue, go to the theme of this workshop. And for that, it's not compulsory to close our eyes, but it's recommended. And let's start with, I guess everyone knows how to raise the Kundalini energy and take a bandhan. If not, then just watch. We raise with the left hand above the head, make an imaginary knot, go on the lateral sides, and do this 3 times. Second time we do 2 knots. Third time we do 3 knots. And we do the bandhan, the protection, 7 times, starting from the left side of our body, above the head and back. So we can do it very slowly and following with the attention the movement of our hand. In the end, we can join our hands, and then we can put our hands in our lap, palms facing upwards, and this is our meditation position. We can be on the floor, or we can be on a chair. So I wonder if we could have the meditation picture on the screen. It would be good. If not, then it's okay. We can continue. Let's close our eyes. And we will take only the right hand towards the earth. And for a short while, we keep attention in the lowermost energy center, the Muladhara chakra. And we can ask inside that, Mother Kundalini, please make my Muladhara chakra strong. Please establish within me the pure qualities of this energy center. Mother Kundalini, please establish within me the innocence, purity, wisdom, and pure joy. Then we take the hand, right hand, we put it on our heart. We put the right hand on our heart, and now also attention on the heart. And here we can pray inside, Mother Kundalini, please open my heart and fill it with spiritual joy. Then we put right hand on the forehead, with center of the palm on the center of the forehead. And here we say inside of us, Mother Kundalini, I forgive myself, and I forgive everyone else. I forgive. We can then take the hand back on our lap and just rest it for a short while. And then we will massage our fontanelle bone area clockwise 7 times. And for very slowly, clockwise, so in this direction. So for every rotation, we will say, Mother Kundalini, please strengthen my self-realization. 7 times slowly. Then we can take the hand slowly back to our lap, palm facing upwards. And for a couple of minutes, we just keep this state of meditation with attention above our fontanelle bone area, without the need of strongly concentrating on that area, but just our gentle, steady attention we keep there. If thoughts come, it's okay. We can say, I forgive myself and I forgive these thoughts. And then let's slowly open our eyes. Look for a few moments, the picture on the screen. And okay, that was our first meditation of this workshop. We will meditate again, but for now, let's. I would suggest we check with our hands above our head if we can perceive 10 to 5 centimeters above the fontanelle area, if we can perceive like a gentle breeze, which is more like a flow of energy, not like a gentle wind, but a bit more subtle. And we can check with both our hands. See if we can perceive differently. We can move our hand slowly in that area to see if we can perceive that stream of energy. And we can also check at the level of our heart. So with palm facing upwards and attention in the centers of our palms. How in which way we feel this at this moment, the vibrations of this. Well, how is our perception in the hands now after the first meditation of this program? We can just check for ourselves. It's not everyone has his or her own perception, but that perception can change in time. So that's why it's good to check every now and then to see how it changes. All right. Then I would suggest we go to the. I have a short presentation about the sun and the moon, and I will show you what I collected in that presentation. I hope you'll find it interesting. I have no idea. Will it be for you too much or too less of knowledge? Or maybe it's something that you already know, but please try to bear with me. It's not a long presentation. So the sun and the moon. Let's go forward. I have someone helping me with this technical part. I am not advancing the slides, so that's why I give this kind of directions. Yeah. So in this slide, I collected the definitions of the sun and the moon as they can be seen. They can be found by any human being that has access to internet and tries to find a kind of official description. They are from National Geographic, actually. They say that the sun is an ordinary star, one of about 100 billion such stars in our galaxy, which is the Milky Way. Let's stop for a few seconds and try to imagine this amount of stars. 100 billion stars in our galaxy, and the sun is just one of them. So like from this general perspective, just how important can it be? Well, since we live on the Earth, for us, it is very important. It is of uttermost important because, yeah, it drives, it gives us warmth and light, and it gives us all we need to live. And it regulates the whole life on the Earth. There are some organisms that live without sunlight, but those are very few. They live in some caves somewhere, and also the marine life living on the bottom of the sea. But all that lives on the surface of the Earth needs the sun. The moon, yeah, it's the only natural satellite of the Earth. It's maybe at first glance is not as important as the sun. After all, we could live without the moon. The moonlight does not give us the sustainment for life. It doesn't give us warmth either. And there are some influences of the moon, like the tides, the ocean tides. But those are okay. They are important, but maybe not as important as the influence of the sun. Let's go forward. This was just a brief introduction. Yeah, so I was saying that on the Earth, the sun is very important for us. And it seems also the moon has been almost equally important during the history of mankind, because in almost every tradition there is a very strong attention on the sun and the moon, and there are many traditions, multiple traditions, in which these are personified as gods and goddesses. So they were worshipped. And I listed here just some of them. It would have taken a lot, much longer list to try to list all the cultures and religions that worship the sun and the moon during the human history. These are maybe the most important ones. For the Western world, the Greek and Roman gods are the most known, and perhaps also the Egyptian ones. But there are, as we can see here, there is people have attributed godly qualities to the sun and the moon, and some of these were so that the sun was a masculine deity and the moon was a feminine deity. But it could have been also the other way around. There are cultures where it's the sun was a goddess, a feminine deity, and the moon was a god. Like I think in Japanese culture, it was like that. And in Finnish tradition, the Päivätar and Kuutar, they are both goddesses. Yeah, so this is just to give a glance of the kind of importance that people gave to these celestial bodies. And it's not actually, it's pretty easy to understand why they were seen as important. If looking at the sky, these are the most visible celestial bodies, and also we can understand that ancient people did not know everything about the sun and the moon. We don't know either everything, but they try to fill their knowledge with mysticism. So we can think in that way. Yes. Do they have influence on humans? Well, definitely, at least the sun. There is, as I was saying before, yeah, everyone knows, I don't need to repeat. But from psychological point of view, how about that? Well, the sun, maybe it's not so obvious for everyone on this planet, but if the sun is missing for a longer time, then there are trouble that people can. There are challenges. Let's not say trouble. There are challenges for the human living in those areas, like the polar areas during the polar night. First of all, it's the sun is important for, and it's crucial for establishing the D vitamin in the human body. And if the sun is missing, then it's more difficult to get a D vitamin. And if the D vitamin is in deficit, then the human beings can face depression, anxiety. There are challenges. Of course, nowadays there are one can take vitamins from the pharmacy, but yeah, but one has to remember to do that, and it's anyway not the same with seeing the sun. For the moon, the moon is subtler. I was saying that it doesn't, at least not clearly, help us in any way. But during the human history, there have been many claims that the moon actually influences us psychologically more than the sun. And there are many claims, and in many cultures, of course, I was saying that this has been worshipped, the moon together with the sun. There has been recently done a lot of study about these effects. There have been some observations that, for example, patients of epilepsy face their situation gets worse during the new moon and full moon time, for example, and also with other psychic diseases. it can be challenging that time for them. But I mean, from there is no, it seems, absolute proof that there is a correlation between the moon and the human psyche. Not a full absolute scientific proof, but that doesn't mean that there is no actually connection. So let's go forward. Actually, even in the ancient times, when the yoga tradition started to exist, it was claimed that there are opposite sides in the human in this what we call a subtle system, and which you probably already are aware of, these chakras, these energy channels. And you for sure know that there is this left channel of emotions, of feelings, and it's called as lunar channel actually. And this right channel, which is drawn here with yellow, it's the channel of our thinking, planning, and action. And it's also called a solar channel. So here we have already the correspondence of the sun and the moon inside of us. There are these energetical channels which are opposite, which are known from very ancient times. But if we just look at the science, then science is not necessarily aware of all these aspects, which in ancient spirituality they are known for a very long time. So then we can already start to understand better that, for example, why the moon can influence us. Since we have this lunar channel inside us, then it could be that the moon has an influence on that channel, and in the same way as the sun could have an influence on our right channel. And here we see that what happens if we go to the extremes. We see we get a view of it in this picture. If we go too much to the lunar channel, we go into lethargy, into too much attention on the past. And if we go too much on the side of the right channel, on the right side, we get stressed, we get overactive. We live too much in the future, so we don't live in the present as we should. Yes, so the objective, the purpose would be for us to be in balance and use our action and emotion side in a balanced way, use them both, and but not go too much to one of those, because then it means we are going to extremes and we are not in balance, and it's not good for our psychological, physical well-being, and it's not good for our spiritual growth either. Yes, let's go to the next slide. Yes, here this is known in modern astronomy, that actually it's known even from very long time, that the moon it looks differently on the sky depending on the moment of time. And in astronomy now, the cycle of the moon on the sky, it's described like this. So there are some phases. There is a phase of new moon when the moon actually is not visible. It's dark on the sky. And there is a phase of full moon when the moon is totally visible. And we all know that the visibility, actually, the light comes from the sun. And between these, the moon all the time changes its aspect, because it's the the portion of the moon that is enlightened by the sun varies, and every night we see it in a different way. Yeah, so these are called as first quarter when the moon is half, or third quarter when it's again half, but on the other side of the cycle. And we have these intermediate stages of waxing crescent and waxing gibbous and waning gibbous and waning crescent. This one such cycle takes about 1 month, roughly. But yeah, and then it starts from the beginning. Yeah, this is a purely astronomical point of view. Let's go forward. Yeah, this one. Yeah, if you are a native Indian person, then you probably know this much better than me. In the Hindu calendar, the same cycle of the moon is divided in more units. There is a bright side called Shukla Paksha, and there is the dark side, Krishna Paksha, which is yeah, these are the two sides of the full cycle of the moon, and each of these halves is divided into units, into 15 units, and each of these units is called a tithi. It's roughly 1 day, but it's actually not. If we want to be exact, it's a unit which is variable in duration. It's not exactly 24 hours. It can be between 20 and 26, but it's close to 24, but it can vary. And yeah, these units, they represent also they mark the way of the moon from this from the new moon, which is called Amavasya in this calendar, the new moon, to the full moon, which is Purnima. And all these other ones, they are the intermediate states, and they are actually named as first one, second one, third one in Sanskrit language, 11th, and so on. So there are 15 on one side and 15 on the other side. Yes. And so in Hinduism, these are this is a kind of the lunar calendar, the lunar part of the Hindu calendar, and it's very important from the point of view of the religious celebrations, because there are festivities that are held in a specific unit or tithi, in one of these units. Yeah, let's go forward. The founder of Sahaja Yoga, Srimataji Nirmala Devi, has also spoken about the moon and the sun in several times, and I try to gather here some ideas, some main ideas. Maybe you already know them, but again, as I said, it's always maybe good to recap. She says that there are in total 16 phases. As I saw in the previous slide, there are 15 plus 1, which is the full moon. And in the same way, there are 16 steps of consciousness. We are going to listen to this talk, so we are going to listen also in detail and listen to Srimataji herself explaining these things. But here just the main ideas. The 14th 14th phase corresponds to the self-realization, which yeah, we have already, because we are Sahaja Yoga practitioners. In Sahaja Yoga, self-realization is the first step, the first step. The 15th phase is the spirit, and the 16th is God. So really completeness. Shimataji also says the moon is the spirit in our heart, because as we know, the heart is the abode of our spirit, and then we see already how important the moon is for us. The moon has, we can see already, has a subtle spiritual importance. Also because religious festivities are held according to the moon, but also because there is reflection of us. There is reflection within us of the moon. Yeah, if we think that the moon is the spirit in our heart. Then moon is the spectator, sun is the working part, was another idea. Moon is more effective in creating desire within us. Again, the moon, as I was saying before, corresponds to the left energetical channel, which is the channel of desires and emotions. Desires and emotions that every one of us has, and which are very important for our life. It's very important to give time, to give attention to our desires and emotions, and because from there, if they are in balance, then we can act more in a more easy way. Desire is much subtler than action. The action comes out of desire, so it is better to affect the desire than to affect the action. So yes, we see how important the moon and this aspect of us is within us, and indeed all the actions that we take, they are the result of some desire. We want to do we wish something, and we act according to that desire. And so we can say that the desire is the kind of the root for the action. And yeah, let's go forward. There's some advice given by Shimataji, practical advice. In the nights of new moon and full moon, that we should sleep early. Shimataji has said that these times of new moon and full moon, they are more challenging for us, because the moon is at an extreme point. So when the moon is full, the left side is very present, the left channel. So we have to kind of balance it, and so it's not a very easy time from that point of view. There is challenge, and in the times of new moon, it's the other way around. The spiritual side is not so much present; it has receded. Then also Shimataji says that there are these 7 to 9 days of the lunar fortnights. Fortnights are those half of the cycle of the moon. So Saptami and Navami as they are called. Shimataji said that it's good to remember these days, and because they are auspicious, they are somehow the balance is easier to attain in those days. So we can keep in mind and meditate more, try to reach a deeper state of meditation in those days, because it should be easier. Another point was sunset is not very good to watch because Shimataji explains this, that it's more kind of left-sided energy. The day is coming to an end, and it's turning into night, and with that, our attention can get drawn to the left side too much. But Shimataji also said that if someone is very right-sided, then perhaps that person should watch the sunset, because this would balance that person by bringing more from the right side toward the left, but to the center. And Shimataji says that it is a sign when the sun takes all the energies from the earth. Also, another practical advice was that the sun and the moon eclipses are not good to watch. It's not advisable. All these are just advice in Sahaja Yoga. There is nothing compulsory. But since Shimataji has been a very highly evolved spiritual person, then it's good to at least to consider these, and why not apply them in our day-to-day life. Yes, let's go forward. Here, at this point, I would say let's watch the Shimataji's talk about the sun and the moon. It's actually not a full talk. It's a fragment of about 7 to 8 minutes. That we can watch.
You see, there are 15 phases, as you know. You see, there are 15 phases, as you know. And the 15 phases, and the 16th is complete. When it is the 16th phase, it's a complete phase. So 15 phases are the 15 steps of consciousness on which human beings really live. And the 16th is a complete, where you really become just a witness. So you cross the 14th when you get your realization. So the moon is never complete till it reaches 16th. Then at the 16th point, it is a complete phase. And that's why it is called that Sri Krishna is complete, because he has got 16 phases. Solaka. Now the first phase, as we call it, first and second, 2 phases. Now all the 7 chakras have 2 phases, left and right. So 7 into 2 is 14 phases. 15 is the spirit and 16 is God, which is only absolute state, where it never changes. It remains the same, is unsurmountable, is above, which is a phase which is not achieved by human beings. So by coming to Sahaja Yoga, you are moving between 12 and 14. How fast the growth has come, just think of it. Now the first phase and the second phase is the time when the matter is created. So the first installation of the matter is Ganeshastri. And so all the obstructions at that time are covered up to Ganesha's power, in a sense. Like that you can see in every chakras how all the obstructions are cleared out. As the left side is the moon, these phases also give you the blessings of the moon. Now the blessings of the moon are left-sided, as you know. And these left-sided blessings are through auspiciousness. Is the positive side. One is the positive side is that you get auspiciousness. Auspiciousness is not in your hands. Is not in your hands. It is beyond. So you get auspiciousness as a blessing in all the phases. And there are 14 types of joys which you get out of this, which I just now I need not tell you the names, it's too much. But you can say that ultimately you get a joy which is called as Nirananda. Nirananda. Now Nira is my name, you know. My short form is Nira. Manu matla Nire Chak. Samingala. एक लहानपणी लिहून ठेवलं तर निरेच्या पिढी. So Niranand, the joy is so much that it is completely joy and nothing else, just joy. Purest form of joy. That is what you get at Sanskar. And then this joy expands, it doesn't improve. Till that joy, it improves, and after that it expands. And that's why whatever one does according to the lunar system, one does it from the spiritual point of view. I mean, you don't get any consumer surplus. Like you get through the sunlight. That supposing you buy something at this time and sell at another time, you might get a big profit.
Material gain.
Material gains. That's right sided. But you get spiritual gains. That's why all the spiritual things are to be done according to the moon. Do you follow now? So, it's a very big question. One day I'll give you a big lecture on that. But I think you have understood.
Madhuji, why do they have a light phase and a dark phase in the Shukla Paksha?
No, Shukla Paksha is a time where the moon is increasing. And Krishna Paksha is when decreasing. So at the decreasing time, it's not auspicious. There's no why for auspiciousness. It does not happen. Why there is light coming out of gas? Can you explain? Because it is light, but why? It is so. When the moon increases, then there is auspiciousness more. Because that represents the spirit, no? The more reflection of the spirit comes in, it is on the increasing side. When it is decreasing, we can say it is on the decline. Then it's not auspicious. So there is Shukla Paksha and Krishna Paksha.
All right. Before we continue, then I would suggest to check again with the hand above our head, see how, to what extent we can perceive the Kundalini energy. We can put the attention there above our head and try with both hands. And now let's go forward and use the Sahaja Yoga technique to balance our lunar channel. And since our lunar channel, our left channel, is the one that is more dark, cold, we use the element, natural element, fire, to balance it. In Sahaja Yoga, we use, in several techniques, we use natural elements of like fire, water, air, to clean, to balance our subtle system. And this is one of those techniques, which is pretty easy. I don't know, maybe some of you already know it. If you don't know it, then no problem. We will need the candle. So I hope every one of you has already the candle nearby, and let's lit it. I will lit my candle. And yes, here it is. How do we do this treatment or technique? We use it only on our left side, on our left channel, not on the right channel, because then it can create imbalance by heating our right channel too much. We keep this candle in our right hand. As I was saying, it's good to have a plate underneath it so that you don't get tainted with the wax. Anyhow, we make this kind of movement. I will try to show. It's not easy, but I will try to show. So we start from on the left side. We do this movement up and down with the candle as pretty close to our body, but not that close so that it burns us. We do this slow movement with a candle on our left side, starting from the as low as possible, close to our leg, and then going until the shoulder level. Going until the shoulder level. Maybe I try to adjust this. Yeah, only until here. Yeah, and we do this movement, up-down movement. We keep our left hand, so we can already start doing it. Keep our left hand on our lap, palm facing upwards during this time, and we follow what we feel in our left hand. If we feel something like the hand is getting lighter and cooler. How many times we do this movement? There is no hard and fast rule for that. We do it as many times as we feel it's needed. And we can feel the effect of it, not only in the palm of our hand, but also inside of us. If we feel more relaxed, more more in peace after doing this few times. And then another thing that we can do is we have how many? 4 energy centers on this way up down, what we can cover with this candle now. So at each of this level, we can either rotate clockwise direction the candle, or do this kind of movement anyhow, a little bit moving the candle in front of it. So here we have, let's start from the lowermost point, which is the left Svaristan. So we, if possible, close to the left Svaristan. For me, actually, it's not that easy now because I'm sitting on a chair and the candle is pretty big. But start with the left Svaristan ideally, and move the candle in the area of the left Svaristan, which is at the lowermost area of the abdomen. And keep in mind that we do this only on the left side. Like this. So if we rotate in the clockwise direction as the, so in this way, as the clock would be facing ahead of us. So in that way, clockwise. So more clearly, like the clock would be on our body, not facing that way. Yeah, so we go then at the level of the Nabi chakra. I don't know if it's very easy to see or not. The Nabi chakra, which is the level of our abdomen, level of our navel. We rotate the candle flame in that area. Carefully. The worst thing that can happen is to burn our clothes or ourselves. Yeah, that can happen if we're not careful, but it's good to be careful. And then the same rotational movement at the level of our heart. And then a bit more up at the level of the left shoulder. While doing this, we can repeat this kind of affirmations inside ourselves, that Mother Kundalini, please enlighten and balance my left channel. Please bring light of joy in my left channel. And we can also do one more thing with the same candle. carefully. We can, because as you probably know, the left side continues at the level of the forehead. It crosses, the left channel crosses the right channel, and it goes on the right side of our head. So there we have also the left channel, so we can enlighten also that part by putting the candle near it and by slowly moving it. We can keep this. During this time, we still keep the left hand on our lap, palm facing upwards. Yeah, I already had some wax leak, but luckily I had a plate, so I'm okay. Yes, like this. We can still now go again on the left side, the whole left channel, up to down, down to up and backwards. And we pray inside Mother Kundalini, please enlighten and balance my left side, my left channel. And then perhaps we can put the candle aside and blow it away. Then, as a continuation of this, let's close our eyes and remain in meditation for a short while. Just meditate, attention above our head. And now, if we could have also the musical background for the meditation, it would be good. If not, it's also okay. It's not compulsory. But we close our eyes and just enjoy the meditation, the state of meditation for a short while. All right, let's open our eyes and let's check once again the status of our perception of the vibrations above our head with right hand first, slowly moving the hand above the head. Also with left hand. Having attention there above our head, and also in our hands at the level of the heart, palms facing upwards like this, at the level of the heart. Yes. So just a few more words about this technique that we just used by using the candle. So it's simply called as candle treatment. As I said, it's used for the left energetical channel, and we don't use it for the central or right energetical channel. Yeah, this is its simplest form. We use one candle. There are some variations. One variation is that it's not myself doing this, but it's one colleague, another Sahaja Yoga practitioner that is doing this movement on my back, on my left channel, and that person will be able to go also on the back of my head, where the left channel goes, and reach here the right hemisphere of my head, right side of my head, where the left channel ends, and go back. So if someone else does it for you, then that person is able to go the whole left channel, not only these chakras in front here. That's one variation. Another variation is we don't use one, we use 3 candles. And this one candle is used the same way as we did before, but we have 2 more candles which we put, one we put in front of our left hand, so with close to the fingers of our left hand, and the other one we put on the floor or wherever we are seated, close to our body. Of course, not that close that it will burn us, but anyway, a little bit close to our body on the left side. And so those are actually static candles, we can say like that, those 2. But that doesn't. They also have effects. So the effect is stronger when we usually when we use 3 candles than when we use 1. If you can try both, you can check for yourself. In Sahaja Yoga, you don't have to believe what is said to you. It's your freedom to try for yourself, and then to decide for yourself, is this treatment good for me or not? This treatment is not good for everyone at any time. It's used for balancing the left side, so it should be used not like all the time. For every meditation we use this. We have to first feel. We feel in the hands. Do we feel more like our left channel catches? It is in imbalance? Do we feel more lethargic? Do we feel more sad, let's say? If yes, then this treatment with the candle is very good. But if, on the contrary, we are very active and stressed and getting angry very easily and getting getting hot, then maybe not. Maybe we should use another treatment for balancing the right side. And for that, I think you already know, or then not. If not, we can have perhaps one day in workshop for that kind of situation as well. So in Sahaja Yoga, we have to decide for ourselves. We are our own gurus. Nobody is going to tell us do this now and do this tomorrow and do this the day after tomorrow. Each and every day we have to check the state of our subtle system by putting the hands up and attention in the center of the palms, and check there what is the status, whatever kind of unpleasant feelings or heat or tinglings we feel. Those are sensations, those are indications from the Kundalini energy that we have to balance something. So if we feel more of that on the left side, then it is advisable perhaps to do this. But everyone, as I said, is his or her own guru in Sahaja Yoga. Yes, and now I don't know if someone wants to ask something or to comment something or to share something, then welcome. I think there are other people also here that are advanced in practicing Sahaja Yoga. We can answer if you have something that you want to ask, or you want to share how you feel, how you felt, and whatever you want.
If you have any questions, you can either put it in the chat box or you can unmute yourself and ask it directly.
Hello, how are you?
Yes, hello.
Thank you for the beautiful experience.
Thank you. We are all part of it.
Yeah, I wanted to ask, I didn't understand about having more than one candle for the treatment. How do you do that? Like two,
Yeah.
three of them, four of them?
Yes, that's a bit challenging for me to explain because we are not in the same room. So, but I will try to synthesize in a more clear way. So one candle, we do the same as we did today, earlier. So this is one of the candles. The other two, they just stay in its own place. So one candle we put, if let's say we are on the floor, yeah, we put one of the candles in front of us on the left side and close to our hand, close to our left hand. So we put it there and we hold the hand close to it. And the other one we put kind of close to our body, a bit behind our body, on the left hand side, close to our body but not too close. So these are the two. One behind. So again, let's say we are on the floor, sitting on our, as we have in the subtle system drawing. Let's say we are sitting in that way on the floor, and we keep our palms on the lap, palms facing upwards, and so we have one candle close to the left hand, which has palm upwards, and the other candle we have on the floor behind our body on the left side, and we have the third candle which does the movement with our right hand as we did before a few minutes ago. If it's still not clear for you, then I suggest maybe we can we can send you, we can find a video for teaching this, showing this more clear way. But is it more clear after I try to explain now with more detail?
Yeah, I understood a bit.
Okay, that is good.
Okay, as well as I want to ask, how are the moon phases affects Earth? So we have different kind of phases.
Yeah, I'm not sure I understood the question. So you mean how do we know?
As you were explaining that we have different kind of phases of the moon: full moon,
Yes,
new moon,
yes,
waxes, half moon.
yes.
So how they affect our subtle system?
Well, they affect the subtle system in such a way that the full moon tends to take us to the left channel, to the left side, and new moon means it's the opposite. It's too little left side, and we are more to the right side. So we have to balance ourselves more carefully. And we have these stages in between, which are more going for the balance. So we should kind of use those for our meditations and follow those that, yeah, follow that balance. That's how kind of, yeah, the cycle of the moon affects us. For it can be more difficult to detect for, let's say, for in day-to-day life, but there is effect on that. So it may be good to be aware. We can find from internet the face of the moon for our geographical location. Even the Hindu calendar units we can find from the internet, that when they start, when they end. And as Shimataji advised, the 7th and the 9th day of the fortnights, they are kind of auspicious and yeah, like more for the balance. And of course, in Sahaja Yoga, we have to see for ourselves, like how much the moon affects us. If it doesn't affect much, then that's also okay. Because from person to person, it can be different, the effect.
I wanted to ask the title of the video, The Sun and the Moon. How do they relate to a human psyche?
Yeah, the psyche is the roots of the psyche are in our subtle system actually. So we have the in our subtle system we have actually the left sympathetic nervous system and right sympathetic nervous system, and whether we want it or not, the sun and the moon they act on these sides, left, right side of us, and that's how they relate that's how they affect the human psyche. Yeah, I don't know how else to put it, but yeah, in Sahaja Yoga, it's we have to just follow our own path and our own heart, and we can see what I try to show in this presentation was some information that each one of you can then consider how important for oneself it is.
Thank you for the beautiful experience. Be blessed.
Thank you, you too. And other questions, comments? If not, then I would say that for ending this workshop, let's raise again the Kundalini energy and do the bandhan together. So we raise the Kundalini energy 3 times. And we do the bandhan for the protection. And join the hands at the end for balancing our subtle system and also for manifesting our gratefulness to our inner Kundalini energy that gave us the meditation. Yes, that was, I think, today's workshop, and thanks everyone for attending. It was a beautiful experience for me also. I felt more balanced and more peaceful. Of course, it was this kind of online workshop. It was first time for me, so I was a bit maybe nervous in the beginning, but but in the slowly it got more balanced. So thank you for joining this.
It's a wonderful experience today. I have a question that how often we can do that, because I felt that I'm a left-sided person. So can I do it at least once in 2 days to balance my left side?
You can do it as many times as you feel like. So you can do it several times a day if you feel like, if you have time. There is no hard and fast rule in Sahaja Yoga that do this many times. Fortunately, so you do it as many times as you feel you need it. And if you say you are a left-sided person, then it means, yeah, it's good for you. Do it once. If after that you feel you still need it, do it also the next day. And the next day, if you feel you still need it, and so on until you feel it's better and maybe you don't need it anymore. Then maybe you try another technique that you need the most at that time. There's no clear-cut rule, fortunately or unfortunately, I don't know. But there is this kind of freedom in Sahaja Yoga that, yeah, nobody is going to tell you that do this many times a day, because nobody knows you better than you do.
Sure. Thank you, brother. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay, if there's no more questions, we can wrap up the session. Thank you so much for this amazing introduction and thorough explanation of the sun and the moon. And everyone, please join in next week for a new topic. Thank you for joining, and we will meditate with you next week.
Thank you from my side also.